Hi, this is Mike Haskew with the Dirt to Done series, and I'm here with Mark Elliott of Coventry Log Homes, and we're going to talk just a minute about some of the interesting things that went on with the first couple of installments in the Dirt to Done series with Jim and Michelle Ducharme. Great to be here with you, Mark.
Nice to be with you, Mike, also.
Wonderful. Tell me, Mark, how does Coventry approach the earliest stage or stages of a new relationship, just as you did with Jim and Michelle?
Well, a lot of times it starts with a lot of questions, a lot of questions that we have, a lot of questions that the customer have, and we encourage them to do a lot of research. Um, Jim and Michelle certainly did that. I think they contacted us like 5 years before they actually purchased a home from us. So they were someone that spent a lot of time uh, learning what they wanted in a home. So that was very nice to be able to work with someone like that.
They certainly did their homework and it showed in the finished product. It's
Yeah.
very impressive. What initial questions, Mark, do you ask of your clients like Jim and Michelle, and what do their answers reveal for you?
So a lot of times we're asking questions to reveal what their lifestyle is like, where they're at in their time of life, whether they're close to retirement, whether they still have children at home. Um, we've asked a lot of probing questions like that so that we can find out how best to design for them. A lot of times we're also finding out about the property layout, what their desires are, what they're looking for. And then we go into different things like floor plans. Maybe there's a floor plan they've seen, one of ours, they want to make adjustments to it, or maybe they're just going to start right from scratch. Um, and then kind of further past that, we encourage a lot of times, and I know Jim and Michelle did this, is to start a scrapbook. They went through and took photographs from magazines, from internet articles that they had read, different things of what they were looking for in a home. And that's very helpful to incorporate into the design.
Well, I think it's outstanding to encourage your clients to take a good look around and see what's available there in the marketplace and bring some ideas of their own to your discussion. But tell me, how does the Coventry process develop design ideas and bring them to life? And how did that relate to the way you worked with Jim and Michelle?
So for every customer, once we find out some of those probing questions, their, a design that they like, or and couple that with their lifestyle and the property and things, we begin the process of, the plans, and our main process starts off with the plans for approval. They're a full set of drawings that are done to scale. They're buildable plans. A lot of times, customers will come to us with ideas, and they really haven't thought through. Once we put them into a scale drawing, you can see what you have for room, if things will work properly. Jim and Michelle had done a lot of this work ahead of time. They were very prepared. They thought through a lot of this, but we still did this process of plans for approval. We draw them, and then we allow them to make changes, get back together and go over different kind of room by room, give them an opportunity to make changes. I think windows were one of the biggest things that changed on their particular home through that process.
What insights do you regularly offer customers relating to design? Do you try to get them to think about their current lifestyle, maybe about the future, maybe what their long-term plans are? And did you have that type of discussion with Jim and Michelle? Were they already focused on that, or how did you bring that out in the initial design phase? Because that seems to me it would be a very crucial aspect of the whole process.
That is a very good point, and it's one of the questions that we asked during that lifestyle, to get to know the what your goals, what your and where you're at right now, where you want to be maybe in 5 or 10 years from now, and even further out than that. Again, Jim and Michelle had thought this through more than a lot, which is, it's very refreshing when someone knows what they want, they've thought through where they're at now, and where they want to go. In particular, a lot of times we draw those plans off from the initial discussions, but a lot of times we get into room by room discussions. We talk about maybe some selective ideas. You may have kids at home now, but they're going to be moving out, and maybe future for a main bedroom on the main floor, 3-foot doors, access for accessibility into certain rooms especially is something we do a lot with our customers. And I know that Jim and Michelle prepared for that. Their main bedroom is on the 2nd floor, but they did make adjustments to the plan to allow them to change, if at times they don't want to do stairs anymore. So we try to take all of those things. We do talk about resale with most people, just to give them an idea of how this home could be more valuable in the long term if they thought through some of those things. But again, it's very specific to the customer and what they're wanting to achieve with the home.
When you move from ideas to floor plan, and then from floor plan through to completion, obviously there are going to be some challenges, maybe some things that that come to the forefront that were not necessarily anticipated. Can you think about those early days when these first steps in the process got underway? Did you see some challenges emerge? And if so, how did you deal with those, Mark?
So a lot of times people can't envision what a room's going to look like, how big it is, how they'll put their furniture into the design. Jim and Michelle did something that a few of our customers take advantage of. We have some of our customers that have Airbnb homes, and we happen to have one that had a very similar lifestyle and design likes to Jim and Michelle. And they actually went and spent, I think, a weekend there and had an opportunity to kind of kick the tires in the actual home, very similar to what they were going to. They made a lot of changes to it, but it gave them ideas to be able to incorporate into the design. That was really helpful for the plan approval process, but not everybody gets to take that. So a lot of times we'll encourage someone to get their plans for approval and then go in and maybe mark out on a floor in their existing home where they're staying, put some blue painter's tape down to form that room size and figure out, okay, is my furniture going to fit in here? How would I live with this? Is this big enough or is it too big? And try to incorporate some of those things. That helps in that plan stage. Once it goes from plans to actual construction, I think we did like 5 revisions for Jim and Michelle, just to get the plan just exactly the way they wanted it, windows and doors, things like that were changed. We normally will do anywhere between 1 and 5. Sometimes we nail it, customer knows exactly what they want. It might be a simple design. Jim and Michelle had a lot of particulars, which was really neat. Jim is also tech savvy, so he incorporated a lot of technology into the home too. And we tried to account on our part what we could to help along with that. But then it really comes down to a lot of communication. And I think communication is key. If they had questions or if we had suggestions, we could have those talks and work through to come out with the best final product.
Well, Mark, I can tell you that in my discussions with Jim and Michelle, they emphasized several times the quality of the consultative process that they had with Coventry Homes. And I think that translated into a great project for them. And as you know, it had a lot to do with their family tradition and family history. And that worked itself into their thought process and into their plans. And I think that the overall experience with Coventry was just outstanding. Thank you so much for your time today.
It's good talking to you, Mike. Thank you.